Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm a relationship hack.
Run up and get touched up, suicide. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Run up and get touched up, suicide, that's it. And all of y'all know my style. I excel, then prevail. Chase just hey, I don't fuck with new niggas, I'm on some other shit. They earthlings, I was born on the mothership. My mathematics is different, they on some dumber shit. I'm trying to wake niggas up, they on that slumber shit. See, your DNA is an equation, so your whole body's a mathematical ratio. Some bitches is predetermined.
Ladies and gentlemen, back in the building for another exciting episode of the So What Morning Show. You know where it is. It's T Radio V. That's Radio NTV. It's how we get down today. Oh, I can't tell you how excited I am right now. I got my youngest son in the building. If my oldest son is the young lion, my youngest son is the young panther. Woo, the chocolate version of Zoe Williams is in the building. What up, Naeem? Yeah. Hey, man. I'm excited right now. So listen, as is common practice, I got to promote black businesses. I need you guys to get out and cash mob like a mug. Let me start it off with myself. Today, I have an inventory update regarding the relationship dismount. Okay? Only 300 copies left of the original shipment we got. Only 300 copies left. If you don't order today and get yours now, I'm going to the post office tomorrow. You better move now. Because you already know how I get down. What was the book before? The Rebirth of Seeds? Once we were out, that's a wrap. I'm not printing no more. I'm not printing no more. So if you want the book, you better move now. Because after it's done, it's done. That's how I get down. I'm moving on to the next book. I'm going to write another one. I already got the concept and idea in my head. I'm already putting it together right now. So, you know, it might still exist on the Kindle or the Amazon version. But this physical turn the pager, right? Only 300 copies left. You better get to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. There it is on your screen right there. IamZoeWilliams.com. Go purchase your copy right now today. If you purchase it today, I'm packaging it up tonight and I'm mailing it tomorrow. Period. Right now. Weed Juice. Go get your Weed Juice situation. $30 off, 30% off at Weed Juice. You got to use that code. We live, we love, Weed Juice. And that last we is spelled O-U-I, Weed Juice. We live, we love, Weed Juice. That's how you get your 30% off on Weed Juice. I love this brother. I love to support this brother because he's here every week giving us free juices. Everybody in here drinks these juices. Engineers, Jake gets juice. Everybody get juice. And they good. They off the chain. I respect this brother. And I'm honored to support his business. Elephant NYC. I'm rocking Elephant right now. Icy, hot. Icy, nicey, icy, hot. Elephant. Elephant NYC. Go get it. Come on now. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. They gonna give you 20% off. Hey. Please support these people right now. Did you guys hear the story about the brother who created the Lacoste brand? Remember Lacoste with the little alligator? A black brother from France. He was a tennis player. They called him the alligator because he was so tenacious. Why do I mention this brother? Because most niggas think Lacoste is not better than Polo. Well, it was the brother who created the Polo tee with the alligator on it. Come on. Go support these brothers. Y'all don't want to support them because it's not Ralph Lauren? Well, it's made of the same material as Ralph Lauren uses. It's just brother get down. Hey, man, I just wanted to accent, the hat, ouch. Go support these brothers, man. That's how we get down. That's how we live, right? Arise Hospitality. Get to Arise Hospitality. There's no need to go to Staples. There's no need to go to Office Depot when you got a black company doing the same thing with the same quality, with the same stuff, right? There ain't no difference, the stuff they sell you at Arise Hospitality than Staples or Office Max. So this is a black company doing it. Go spend your money with the black folk. That's all I'm saying. Jews do it. Jews spend their money with themselves, right? That's why they're some of the richest people on the planet Earth. Freedom Paper Company. Yep. There's no reason black people should wipe their ass with white toilet paper created by white people. When you got a black company creating the same white toilet paper for black shit to be wiped off black asses. Go to Freedom Paper Company, right? Freedom Paper Company. There's no reason, no excuse to do it. Panache Ganache. Sister came and cooked and baked so what cookies? Oh my God, man. Had the so what logo on. If you getting married, if you got a graduate, if somebody getting ready to go to college, whatever special event, if you're about to retire, right? This woman can craft a cake. She is the black female cake boss. No reason not to go to her. No reason not to go to her. And she can mail anywhere all over the world. Now, really quickly, House of Roses is a GoFundMe project. And it's for young kids, right? Listen, it's for young kids who are in a desperate situation and they need these funds. It's like a housing situation, right? For girls. Chris's mother, my guy, my assistant associate producer, Chris, you know him as Dragon Mouth. Yeah, he's famous. Your mouth is famous, nigga. Shit. He's famous. His mom is trying to put something together to help these kids, man. House of Roses in Bloom. They're trying to raise $10,000 at GoFundMe. Go look up House of Roses in Bloom. It's for these disadvantaged kids, man. Please. It's a home for girls. Please, please go support and donate to that. Easy Boy Web. Got to get to Easy Boy Web. They did my website. They built every aspect of it. The back end, the e-commerce, all that. These are brothers out of Atlanta. Please go support these guys. Booty Boxing. Tell them about it.
8-week home system. You go ahead and cop that. The system is $95, but it is free for So What listeners. So go to udemy.com, udemy.com/bootyboxing, and put in the promo code ZOWHAT and that's just ZOWHAT, no question mark, and spaces in between the words. Cop that.
Veronica Conway, get on here real quick. Times are running. I got to go to Dr. G, but VC, tell them what you got. Is she on? VC. Veronica Conway. VC. Veronica. Okay, go to Dr. G. Dr. G, tell them what you got right now.
Okay, I got a book coming out. Is Veronica on?
Go, Doc. Go. We'll go to.
Here's a book coming out October 15th. You can pre-order it now. There is a special time limited, 25% off at Barnes & Noble and Amazon. But I want to give you a 1-minute course on how to market stuff. And Zoe, you should listen to this about your book, because what you want to create in people is, how do you create gotta buy it? If you create gotta buy it, you don't have to sell them. So here's the quick 1-minute course on gotta buy it. So here's a handout that I give out of places here. And so here's what it looks like. When people see the title, Talking to Crazy, 90% of people smile, and they have no idea why they're smiling. So you can't. I say, do you know why you're smiling? They say, I don't know. And I say, well, open the page. And when you open the page, this is from the book. it actually points out 9 of the ways that irrational people act. And so I'll just read the first one. Emotional people. Emotional people believe they need to vent or they'll explode. Therefore, they cry, they scream. I feel like Rosanna, Dana. They cry, they scream, they slam doors. They tend to overpower you because they're willing to escalate a situation to a point that's unbearable for a sane person. So you're reading that, and you could say, wow, that's my situation. I talk to them, but here's where you hook them. Your reaction. You may try to pacify these people by giving in to them so you can stop the unending emotional upheaval, or you may become so tired of it all that you just try to get away from them. So what happens is when people read through this, their whole life flashes before their eyes, and they see what's going on inside them, and they say, how did you know that about me? And then they look at the title. What is this book anyway? Oh, Talking to Crazy. And then the title is How Do You Deal with Irrational and Impossible People? And people, I got to buy that.
Wow. Excellent. Talking to Crazy will be out in October. Go get your copies now. You can pre-order, right?
Pre-order.
Man, don't play, Chef. Just go get it. One more. TheResumeGuru.net. Trust me, this sister, dope. Out of Houston. A lot of black people, especially the youth, millennials, need these life skills. This sister is a master of life skills. Go to her website right now. TheResumeGuru.net. Do we have Veronica yet? VC.
Yes.
Holler at us. Tell us what you got cracking.
Finally.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Veronica.
I would say given today's topic, Black Mastery is always a great option because Black Mastery goes in and deals with all of the subconscious programming about the negativity that we connect with the word black. So, blackmastery.com.
Excellent. Listen, it's about to go down. I'm taking a quick break, but when I come back, Dr. G is going to serve up the topic, but I'm not kidding, guys. They're almost gone. Only 300 copies, physical copies remain. We will not, chances are we will not be printing up anymore.
That's it.
I mean, it's a hassle to print up the books and get them mailed to you and then package it in them. Hey, it's a hassle. Everybody, let me just say this. Anybody who hasn't received their pre-order, all you got to do is email me. 2319zo1@gmail.com. Send me your digital receipt, and I will package it up and send it out to you. But of the 300 remaining, they're almost gone. You want your copy? Order it today. I'm going to the post office tomorrow. Only 300 copies remain of The Relationship Dismount. We'll be back at 2.2, and we're getting into today's topic. It's going to be a heater. We'll be back.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poor care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. Okay, today's show is about man's inhumanity and man on steroids. We're going to just take it on. Can you show this little video of about homeless people reading tweets about them? This is the state of the world.
I hate the homeless. I don't feel sorry for you. If you want change, let me throw it at you as hard as I can
at your
dirty face.
I hate when it gets cold out because then all the homeless people get on the bus.
I wonder if homeless people go to heaven.
Maybe if homeless people took care of themselves, looked pretty, we would want to help them. But I don't help yellow teeth. Well.
Never understand why homeless people smell of piss when you can literally piss anywhere.
I was enjoying a latte when I saw a hobo girl across the street. I almost vomited. Get back on your side of the bridge, no one likes you.
I hate seeing homeless people standing in the cold, shivering. Be glad when the light turns green. Well, that'll make it go away, won't it?
If homeless where the heart is, then are homeless people heartless?
Wow.
far from it.
Okay, that's what the show is about today. We're going to talk about especially racial slurs. It's going to go off the charts because I'm a white guy. I'm a white Jewish guy, and I'm going to use the word nigger. And I want to find out what my co-hosts think about it when I say that. How's a little background and why I'm on the show? I worked with the O.J. Simpson trial, and I worked with the prosecution. And there was something in there that said once you say the N-word, you can't unring it, and there may have been some truth in that. And what happened is I just found the word so vile and so disgusting, it bothered me to no end. And then after the trial, what I'd realized is I had a covert racist inside me, because I realized that my black friends had been profiled, had been living with prejudice, had been living with injustice forever. And I chose not to know about it. I chose not to care about it, and it really bothered me. And so this show is just going to weigh into it, because what's it like for my friends here when I use the word nigger?
Kevin?
Oh, I don't feel a thing. Nigger, as we know, if you do the root of it, goes back to Naga and Negus. Many things, meaning king, God. So you can say it all day long. I'm happy with it.
Now let me answer the kike.
You can answer him. It's fun. You can say nigger all
right?
day.
Because we have to say, like, let me just set it up. Today's topic: the racial slurs and name calling show, an in-depth investigation of the rising tide of the impending race war. Right? And I believe that the race war is propaganda, right? This is the greatest distraction ever. Race is a social construct, right? So, kike, it elicits a feeling. Nigger elicits a, what the fuck? Who? You understand? It gives you, what? Huh? I know this motherfucker didn't just say that shit. He about to catch the hand.
Fuck you say, nigga?
You feel what I'm saying? So we had to do this show because the racial slur movement is a key component to the impending race war. You saw the little kids tackle the referee in the football game.
Speared him.
They speared his ass because he used racial slurs against them on the field.
Right.
This is why we have to do this show and address it. Let me show you how all you motherfuckers are puppets to ideas you didn't author. That's what this show is about.
What's it like when you hear the word? Now, we're friends, so you work around it, but, if we weren't friends, I'm a white guy. When I use that word, so what does it do to you? And let's not
I'll tell you exactly what it does to me. You're my friend. You get a pass. Mm-hmm. But on the inside, sometimes I feel like white people find reasons so they could say it. Like, for instance. They do. Like, for instance, Dr. G's my friend. But part of me on the inside says, you just wanted to do this show so you could say nigga. That's why you brought this idea to me. You just want to say it. Right? My thing is, you don't get to say it until you own all of the bullshit you created and associated with the word. Like, if a white man was to come up and say, you know what? We know the word nigga mean God. And it was part of racism for us to make it mean stupid and ignorant. Right. And then I can say, okay, nigga, you owning your shit. So it really means God, then I'm God. Not because you say it, but when you own your shit and say, well, I created the propaganda around the word. I made it the worst word in the world.
But does it outrage you or enrage you? I mean,
for most brothers, it outrages and enrages.
Okay, and can you speak to that? Because you're very smart, both of you, and we'll get into some of the thinking, but we're using it because the people out there, when they hear a white person say that word, they need to know that you and maybe even I can understand them. So what do you think the outrage and the enrage is about?
May the
what is the outrage and the enrage? Wait, hold on. Let me take these goddamn glasses off so the motherfucker can see me. The outrage and the enrage, right, is a culmination of all of the bullshit. And I'm just going to keep it real. The bullshit fucking lies that this society is built on. The lie is black people are ignorant. The lie is black people are lazy. The lie is black people are inferior. The lie is white people are better. We, as black people, I've said this before, as black men, I've said this before, we know we better. Just right off the top. But do you know what it feels like to have to downgrade who the fuck you really are to fit into a system in order to be considered successful? That shit is frustrating than a motherfucker.
It is.
Do you feel any connection to the hundreds of years, you know, when they couldn't say it because Massa would beat the crap out of them? And do you feel inside yourself when someone says that, something boil up and say, you know, maybe my ancestors had to put up with it, but I'm not going to do it? I mean, do you feel any of that contributing to the rage and outrage, or is it just in the moment?
Well, it's a system of control. So once you understand it's a system of control, then you can release yourself from it. Don't be attached to it. It's the people who get outraged and enraged, they're attached to that word. You know, they're attached to the hate, the anger, the emotion to the word. So when they get called nigger, immediately that comes up. But once you understand, I mean, knowledge is power. So if I understand where the word came from and the root of it and the power that it actually held, so I'll take on that energy. I'll be attached to that energy instead of the negative energy or the connotation that was put on it. That's just how, for me, that's how
I'm gonna go to Veronica Conway really quickly. VC, you want to weigh in? Come on with that fire. I'm already knowing.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So what I experienced when Dr. G said it is I felt a charge internally, and I really tried to feel into what that felt like inside, and what it speaks to me about is it betrays the inferiority complex that white folks have, masquerading as a superiority complex. In other words, like white folks need to say it, to implement it, to act it out in terms of global domination, global genocide. Their need for that is the thing that I feel on it. That's the thing that I sense on it. And that's a trip to me, that desperate need for them to feel superior.
Now go back to Dr. G. Dr. G, hold on. Yeah. Did you hear what she just said? White supremacy, right? The need to control, the need to suppress, the need to obfuscate history, that is a direct reflection of white inferiority. Well, how does that make you feel to know that white supremacy is an extension of white inferiority?
Well, I think this crosses over into the whole bully phenomenon. A lot of bullies, in order to make themselves feel better when inside they're not worth anything, I mean, they haven't achieved anything in the world. One of the ways you make yourself feel better, if inside you haven't done nothing for yourself or the world, is you find someone else to scapegoat. And so you focus you in your mind by calling them out as inferior. It's a way to make yourself feel superior when you're not worth much at all.
Do you feel that way after hearing, I mean, all of the history, all of the knowledge, all of the information that has been shared about the differences of the culture? When you look at it objectively, can you now see from the perspective, empathetically, of black people and what white people have done the world over? What does that make you feel like in the name of white supremacy?
Well, I see black people as stronger than white people because they've had to deal with it forever. And so when I see it, I don't see black people as less than. I see them as more than, because I could see that the white race wouldn't put up for a second the way the whites treat the blacks. You know, and so the fact that you've lived with it, you've even tried to find some sort of grace about it. I'm not your average white guy. Right. So I would never use the word because I don't see blacks as less than.
Wow. Kev?
Well, I'm going to go back to something Zoe said. He said black people feel that they're better. And I'm going to say that I don't know if they actually feel that way. I think they have some type of hidden fear of white people or even being around white people.
No question.
So,
I agree.
They may hear that they're better. They may have an inkling, but I don't think they actually believe it deep down, because if you did, then you wouldn't be scared to or how black people treat each other.
Right.
They don't treat white people the same
way.
They treat them with a little more. They have a little bit more respect here, a little bit more respect there. So if you actually believe that you were better, then you wouldn't have those two different ways that you treated people.
Does this fit in all? And it's not just black; it's whites also. What about people feeling entitled to being treated better? Because of A, B, and C, and because of how we've been put down, and because of all we're entitled to be treated better, and which is not the same thing as feeling like you're better.
That's a paradox, and I'll tell you why. To feel entitled that the oppressor should treat you better is insanity, because he's the oppressor.
Yes.
That's like going to the devil and say, "Show me mercy."
That's not going to happen.
The devil doesn't show mercy. That's not what the devil does. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So to even feel entitled in that situation is not intelligent, right?
No,
you owe me for the whips you put on my back. Well, if I get a chance to whip you again, if it ever becomes legal, I'll do it again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But that is kind of what the mentality is. You owe me reparations. That is what that is. You whipped us for 400 years, so pay me. That type of mentality to me, as you were saying, it's more of a what's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for.
Not retaliation.
It's not a retaliation. But it's just a false mentality of not understanding each other's plight. To me, if we started to understand each other's plight, then there would be no pay me back, payment. Everybody has done bullshit, and I get a lot of shit from this all the time of people off YouTube and this calling me coon because I try to see both sides of the coin of how we were, or black melanated people were in power first, and we've done so much shit in history, and then white people have become in power, and then they've learned that from us. And not only that, because they don't want to give the power back, then they found all these other ways to help to hide the information, to hold it back, and to degrade and to make black people think that they're lower. So that to me is just a false mentality of not having the information of where they came from.
Yeah, I want to get back
to
the K-word.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll deal with it. Hey, it's already off the charts, goddammit! What you got to say? Follow me on Twitter right now. I'll speak out your post, your tweet. I'll retweet. I'll say it. Give me something interesting to talk about right now, because this is a very needed conversation, especially with regards to the climate of America today. We'll be back at 2.2.
Porch monkey. Let me move over this way. A lot of black people are called porch monkeys because there were lots of times, and even still today, where black people live in very poor housing units, like projects and stuff like that. And a lot of times, the air conditioning didn't work. So a bunch of black people would have to sit outside on their porches or on the stairs of their building, just sitting there, because inside their apartments it was too hot, and so people would look at them and see a bunch of black people sitting on the stairs, and they would think, oh, porch monkeys, they don't work, they just sit there all the time, porch monkey, porch monkey. So that's how that came up. Next one is Pop-Off. And Pop-Off is a cheap brand of like Russian alcohol. It's a very cheap brand. So basically they're just saying you're a cheap vodka drinker, Pop-Off. First insult for white people first racial slur is ditch pig. Now, first of all, a lot of white people are called or seen as pigs because of their skin color, because because their skin color is like similar to a pig's skin in a way, you know, it's like pinkish, whatever. And ditch pig just refers to white kids in the South of America who play in ditches with their friends. So, you know, together they're playing, they're having fun. They look like a bunch of ditch pigs. Now, this could be used for the children or the adults, whatever. Ditch pig, it's just a racial slur.
Two cops one from Elizabeth, New Jersey, and one from the town I grew up in, Union, New Jersey, and they squared off with black kids around, like, you know, we're all fucking around, we're all drunk. They squared off, and they tried to go, like, you know, dueling Brandos, racist term for black people. And these are two cops, and it started out with the N-word, and I swear to you,
started with the N-word.
These two cops, both one Irish, one Italian.
So what is the game?
They got to like 80.
So what is the game? The cops.
Like, in other words, you say a racist term, and then I say a different one, then you say a different one, and we keep going until we run out.
I wonder if I could play that game. I don't think I know enough racist terms to win that.
You'd be out in 5.
The funny part is it was two cops, so it would start out with...
I would run out of terms very quickly, I think. Because I'm not really that keyed into racist terms.
South. Fuck news.
Kike.
Jew boy.
That's a good one.
Come on,
Yeah,
all right,
you guys are slow.
You want to play, Robin?
No,
play Artie.
I can't do that.
Can I jump in? Can I sponsor Sal as like representing
Sal,
my...
All right, who do you think would be better at it, Sal or Artie?
I think Artie.
Really? Well, I think Sal is, particularly with the Jews.
All right, let's see.
Sal has like 5 good ones, and then he slows down to a crawl.
I'll take Sal.
Artie's won every time. All right, Sal, come in here and play Artie. More horrible names for Jews that you can find. We tried it with blacks. We tried it with gays. Let's see who does better.
Kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always...
But they don't. Are not only the only
I didn't mean it like that. Come on.
Shit, man. This is a fucked up country we live in. Man. A lot of people don't know it. We're back. Today's topic, man, we talking about the impending race war propaganda. Racial slurs, name calling. How does it make you feel, Doc, when you hear the word kike? Remember Michael Jackson said it in a record, and y'all came down hard on Michael Jackson. Was one of the biggest, is the biggest recording star in history. He said, "Hey, motherfucker, take that out your record," and he had to do it. He had to capitulate. Why? How does that make you feel, Doc?
Well, I think it cuts us to our core, but one thing you have to realize about Jews in Israel, Israel is a one-bomb country. Why they're so upset about Iran and everything, one bomb and the country's gone. And if you have your enemy digging underneath you, you pull together. So I think what happens is we don't like it, but we have this feeling like we can't react overtly, and so what we do is we do pull together, and then we figure, we maneuver, and then that gets that it actually adds to more of the racial thing. Is you're always conniving, you're always figuring, you're always kind of maneuvering. Well, part of that is forever we weren't admitted to any of the blue collar trades, before finance and all that stuff really got into it, and so we got into that, and then what happened is people got greedy and all that kind of thing. But I think I feel it. But the point is, I wouldn't, unless I'm a kickboxer martial artist, I wouldn't get into a fight with you. I'd pull back.
But is it a justified feeling?
No, it does. It doesn't feel. No, when I feel it doesn't. It doesn't feel justified. But I think what it does is I think it triggers fear before the rage. And I don't know if it figures. So when someone uses a white person uses the N word in you, does it trigger fear before the rage, or just the rage? So I think that you feel it. You feel like if you're a wounded animal, wounded animals are the most deadly animals, right? Mm-hmm. Because if they figure the next wound is going to kill them, right, they'll do anything. But let's face it, when you're a wounded animal and you've just been wounded in a way where you could die, there's got to be an element of fear going on inside there, in addition to I better strike back.
Right. Veronica Conway, jump in here. VC, you there? Where is she?
You guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, don't you got us on?
Okay,
you got
great.
us on mute, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop muting
I
us.
think that it's interesting. Okay. I think that it would be one thing, you know, in this whole thing around slurs. It would be one thing if cultures could just compete. In other words, if Europeans would just compete fair and fair, if Jews just competed, right? But I think the thing that is troubling is it goes beyond the need to compete. It goes to the need to take other people's shit, appropriate their shit, take their stuff, appropriate, rape, murder, and do whatever they got to do, and then turn around and belittle the culture that they just did that to.
Right.
That fucks me up.
Right. Right.
It's
Because
like you gotta take
Veronica,
everything and diminish it, and so I'm always curious as to what's up with that.
Veronica, you're saying something really, really big. To me, this is racism. Argue this point. 9/11. Never forget 9/11. It was some bullshit that happened to us from some fucking sand Arab somewhere that fucking bastards. But then white people turn around and tell black people to get over slavery. It happened 150 years ago. You guys got to get over that. To me, that is racism by definition. Who wants to argue that?
Well, that is racism by definition. They definitely have a different standard of what they want you to adhere to than what they adhere to. But, you know, being called thug as well. That's the...
Thug's the new nigga.
That's the new nigga.
We can't say nigga. We will definitely say thug. These fucking thugs.
Thug all day long.
Shit.
I mean, Monday is another word that they use for black people because they can't call you niggas anymore, so they call you Mondays because nobody like Mondays. So, you know, these are different terms and things that they'll throw in there. But there's a famous quote that says, "No one can harm you without your consent." And you know, that's the truest thing in the world, because if I call you something and that's not you, but you get hurt from it, that means you are attached to it. That means in some type of way you've identified with that word or that slang term that I've called you. Because if I call you a billionaire and you have no money, does that affect you? No, because you're not that. You're not attached to that. You don't identify with that. But I'll come and call you, if I call you a nigga or some type of racial slur like that, why are you attached to that? Because you've been taught to be attached to that word. You've been taught to be hurt by that. You've been taught to be degraded by that word. And so, you know, you have to back up away. You have to get knowledge of why these people are doing that. Why is
but no. If you tell me to go get some knowledge, motherfucker, you're telling me to do some work.
You damn right.
And if you're telling me to do some work, and then I get the motherfucking knowledge, now you're telling me to be responsible for what I've learned.
Damn right.
Well, fuck that. It's too much motherfucking drama. I'm going to take what the white man taught me as the truth, and then I'm going to continuously be triggered and angry about a lie this motherfucker implanted in my subconscious.
All day long. And that is the trick, because as long as they keep us doing this, fighting between us, you a honky, or you a nigga, or you a this, they're doing all kind of bullshit behind the scenes, and really shit that's gonna fuck up everybody. It has nothing to do with white, black, this. They're fucking up the whole thing for everybody. So while they got all the races arguing and pointing and doing this and that, they're actually banding together different races because it's all about class and money behind the scenes, and they're fucking off everything.
Oh shit, Doc.
Tell me if this applies to it, because I've been getting interviews on Trump, because Trump's bullying people. He's calling them stupid. He's calling all these sort of things. So I actually have a blog out called "Trumping Trump," and how to win the game with Trump. And so because there's a debate on, I think, on Wednesday. So tell me if you think this would work, or. But the whole idea is that when someone is bullying you or name calling you or doing something and they're triggering you, what they're really trying to do is get you off the scent of something they're hiding.
Yeah, misdirection.
Of course.
So the key is, but the point is, when you're with someone, if you can get centered enough to say, hear them doing that to you. And there's a phrase I use, which you use inside yourself, opportunity for poise, because poise is classy. And you may not like the word. You may scream at me. I don't want to use poise. I want to rip his throat out. But when someone comes off at you, they're expecting to provoke you and get you off the scent of holding them accountable to something.
Right.
And so when they lay into you with whatever, if you can just pause, look them straight in the eye, you will see them get uncomfortable because you're on to this game.
Right.
So,
and when they do that, let me just finish. When they do that, you pause just long enough, and they say, "Well, what are you thinking about? What are you looking at?" And if you just say to them, you can say, "I'm just trying to figure out what you're hiding."
Why are you bullshitting?
Why are you bullshitting?
Why are you bullshitting?
You must be hiding something, or else you wouldn't be talking that way to try and get me all riled up.
Right.
And I just can't figure that out. Could you tell me what that might be?
I'm not finna smile with you, bitch. Fuck.
Your bullshit.
The English would be, what game are you playing at?
But do you think any of that applies
What are you playing
to what we're talking about? Ways to sort of, because talking to crazy is all about how you lean into the crazy as opposed to getting triggered and provoked into your fight or flight. If you can just sort of lean into it.
But see, you're saying something really big here, and I want to pose this question to everybody here. I want everybody's idea, and I'm going to start with Veronica. What would be the purpose for a race war? See, everybody say, "Oh, the race war is coming," but then you say, "What?" See, the Civil War had a purpose. Okay, this was slavery. You about to take away a whole economic infrastructure, nigga. We going to war with the North. Fuck that, right? The North is saying, "Hey, the motherfuckers still gonna be in slavery. It's just a different kind of slavery." No, fuck the new shit. We want the old shit with niggas back broke over here doing it this way. So, again, what would be the purpose of a race war? Most people don't even really take time to ponder that. And then, what would a winner of the race war look like? Either side. Most people, they're not even there for this question.
Right.
This is the question I'm posing, the two questions that I'm posing to everybody. Veronica, go, and then I'm coming back to the crew.
Well, the truth is that if there's a race war, it's really the elite wins because they're going to be pitting one race against each other, and they're planning it that way. So they're the ones that will ultimately win. When you look at the people that are on the ground, the lower and middle classes that are being used by the elite, they're ginning up racial fear. That's what you're seeing all this backlash about in politics. Republicans and the preppers. I don't know if you ever want to get depressed, go hang out at stormfront.org and see the white nationalists and see just how ginned up they get about stuff, how ginned up they get about Obama. What it is about in their mind is the browning of the planet. They're freaked out about the demographics. They're freaked out about what I've always said it was about. It's about keeping the black man from fucking the white woman. And they're having racial fear about being fucked out of existence by an increasingly browning planet. And so the elite are exploiting that white fear, and they know they're violent and crazy and would like to go to war and are itching for wars, and so they promote that.
They got fucking light-skinned people creating a new race called biracial.
Yep.
Right? They got light-skinned people creating a new race called biracial, which further divides the group of people into subsets. Well, my mother was white, and my father was black, so I'm biracial. Nigga, you black. Period. Look at the blood. Go to a hematologist. Look at the fucking DNA.
Thank you.
So what they got you doing is you confused because now through this concept of, all people matter, right? Even the mixed ones. You are a new people. And you deserve. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now they got you confused, and you don't know which side to be on, not knowing that all this shit is a fucking social construct. Right. Answer it real quick, and then we got to go to break, and I'm coming back to Doc.
Well, yeah, as you know, to tag on what you were saying, if you go to a genealogist and he looks at your DNA, or he looks at anybody's DNA, you're going to find that you're mixed with everything. These are what genealogists are finding all the time. They look at people's DNA and like, oh, well, you are black, a person that's, blacker than somebody in Africa, they can have, they can have descendants from Europe and all over the place, and from Japan. So it really is a game, and the game really is they're trying to create this one world government.
That's the fucking game right there. First off, you can't say you mix with European. Just intellectually, you cannot say you're mixed with European. You know why? Europe is a nationality, nigga. That's a continent. You can't say you mix with a continent. And then if you say, wait a minute, Caucasians on that continent. Okay, I'm mixed with Caucasian. Then you go back to the Genome Project. You find out that Africans have the most genetic diversity of all people on planet Earth, which means Africans can produce every race. So how you gonna come back and find those genetic markers and go, hey, you've got Norwegian in you? No, nigga, Norwegians are African.
Yes, if you talk to those genealogists, they'll say, yeah, there's only one race with different clans, and clan means family or bloodline. So that's really all it is. And so the major bullshit is to put that in front of you so they can, it's hocus pocus. As long as I'm showing you this and you marveling over that, don't worry about this bullshit I got going over here. I'm bringing the one world together. I'm bringing Iran into the one world government. I'm bringing Cuba into the one world government. I'm bringing all these different things that weren't so at the beginning. These are all coming together while your only thing that's on TV is Trump and bullshit racism, is Black Lives Matter and all this and that. There's all this crazy shit going on that's affecting the world, and that will affect the world, especially in the next 5 to 10 years.
Don't forget the Pope.
The Pope
bringing in all the religions together for the one world religion.
Exactly. Trans-Pacific Partnership, bringing all the corporations together. This is what's going on.
This is what's happening.
That's really the only thing that's going on right now.
Oh my goodness. Listen, we'll be back at 2.2 with Doc's response. This shit's crazy. So what morning show? You know how we get down. Topics everybody's scared to talk about, but we not. We'll be back.
As house mom, Bhutan Gilbo lived in the house with the SAE fraternity brothers and apparently partied with them too. A Vine user posted the video of Mom B, as her kiddos call her, chanting the N-word repeatedly over loud music. Unlike the frat members, Mom B didn't make up her song. She's singing along to Trinidad James's All Gold Everything.
See, this is why you people can't drive.
You people.
You know what, I don't want to be racist, but kind of suck at driving.
Yeah, maybe because we don't have as much practice driving taxis all the time.
Oh, really? Driving taxis? Well, if your entire life is widescreen, then you shouldn't be on the road, let alone drive a taxi.
Are you a racist?
No, I'm not. I'm not a racist. I never should have said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it. But a lot of people need to realize that you inherit things from your environment. And where I grew up was South Tampa, and it was a really rough neighborhood, very low income. And all my friends, we greeted each other saying that word.
Wow. White people want to say it. I mean, if you look at the layout of our culture, it's first off, it is a racist society we live in. But let's understand what racism is first. A lot of people don't know what racism is. A lot of people just think race is my team. I'm black, I'm team black. You white, you team white. That's not racism. Racism is a whole nother ideological, sociological, government, educational infrastructure. This is why I believe you can call a white man a cracker all day. He's not going to be like, oh, I'm hurt. Cracker is a racial slur, but it's a slur that puts the white man in power.
Right.
Nigga, cracker, I crack the whip. I'm cracking the whip on your black back. You think you insulted me by calling me a cracker?
Honky too. That's
honky? I'm honking the horn to get that black pussy.
Yep.
I drive in your neighborhood. I ain't finna get out the car.
Nope.
But I'm a honk. Come on out here, Jezebel.
You come on out, park my car in the back.
All our words for them are words, we call them slurs, but they're really slurs that put them in a position of power.
Right, because slur actually means to drag through the mud.
You mean them motherfuckers ain't dirty?
Nope.
Yes, I will crack the whip. And yes, I will have sex with your woman. Thank you. Bam. I'll be a honky cracker. All day in America.
Well, look,
Dr. G?
Look, if you kind of reverse engineer the slur, so if what the slur is the racial epithet to the other person, so what's happening is you feel justified in calling them that name. So if you go, what would cause you to feel justified in calling them that name? It's got to be in response to some retaliation for something. And I think what happens is in racism, what we do is and I want Veronica to weigh in, I think we project on the other person feelings that they don't necessarily have, that we actually have. We project on them as having it, that justifies our actions towards them.
Interesting. VC?
Yeah, I would say that a lot of this stuff is projection. I mean, there's to project onto a race of people that they are inferior and lazy and shiftless, and I mean, to decide to project that on anyone, it means you got something really deep going on with your own psyche. And in other words, in order to continue to perpetuate it and to pretend to be humane, you have to find a way to explain to yourself why you're being so inhumane.
Right.
You have to find a way to reconcile that. Otherwise, you don't. Otherwise, how can you give yourself permission to continue to perpetuate it?
Right.
So yeah, it by definition is projection.
Right. So take Donald Trump. Donald Trump, his political campaign is based on racial slurs.
Bam.
Right? We live in America, who purports itself to be a country of respected, appreciated, and welcome diversity. First off, I know Donald Trump, who put all his kids through the best high-end educational institutions, right? Private educational institutions. I'm sure his rich-ass daddy put him through all the best high-end educational institutions. So don't tell me you dumb enough to think that your ass, who is the child of immigrants,
thank you,
gonna come out on a political platform deriding immigrants.
Yes.
Listen, when I tell you motherfuckers this is a play, when I tell you this nigga is a fullback coming out of the hole to knock out the linebacker so whoever is coming after him can break free. This is the political game they play. And because the American populace is so dumb, they believe it. You've been cultured to think black and white and in stereotypes.
Geoff Brown says something frequently about the the economic war that's coming in. And Veronica, I wanted you to weigh in on this because I think you talked about it somewhat. Maybe the issue is it really is the 1% who doesn't care about anyone versus the 99%. And if you stir up the 99% to think it's all between them, then they won't catch on to the scent that you and the 1%. You don't care about them at all. You're going to hold on to what you have as best you can. You're going to take even more from them because greed is that way. And maybe because you asked what's the purpose of the race war, well, maybe the hope is that at some point they come to each other and they say, hey, we're killing each other, and look at those 1%ers. I mean, they're just kind of watching it on their big screen, on their high-def TVs, and they're entertaining each other. Wait a minute, maybe we got this wrong. Maybe we are pawn sacrifices.
The 1%ers are masters of taking advantage and making money out of mayhem. I'm going to make the stock market crash because I know everybody goes broke when the stock market crash except us. Then we're going to come in and buy up all the shit that is now discounted, and now we own even more.
They're the ones with the information. They're the 1%ers. They have the real information of what used to be. And to me, they create this race war, and especially they perpetuate this on melanated people because they don't want them to understand the power that they used to carry and used to have, and they do everything they can to keep them from getting that back. But the thing is, in society, they create these wars between white people and black people, and really, they're the same. Like if you go and I'm going back to law. If you go to law, both black and white are colors, and in colors, it means the semblance without the actual reality. So by calling yourself white and black, you're literally saying you're not real. And so they know that at the top. So they put that shit on you, and you can call yourself white and black and all these other different terms that depower you. But at the end of
wait. When you say depower, say it another way. that put you in their jurisdiction.
Put you in their jurisdiction.
Yes.
Yes.
Say that.
It places you within their jurisdiction. But also, what I mean by depowers you is because there's a certain status that you have that actually empowers you over the government. But by calling yourself these terms, these legal terms, black, which means you're not real, and also white means you're not real. Now this is legally. Now colloquially, if you go back and do the history of the terms, white means master and black means slave. And so this is how the world is using it colloquially. But if you use it legally, they both mean that you're not real, and they place you under the jurisdiction, as Zoe was saying, of that 1%, and that's really all where they're trying to keep you at.
Dr. G, he confused. He don't know. He like what?
Something I brought up. Something I brought up on occasion is that that if you exercise block power, if blocks came together and they agreed to. And if you're in the stock market, which is not that many of them, but if you agree that you're in the stock market and you short something like Walmart, in other words, you bet on it to go down, and then all blocks agree to boycott.
Bam.
What will happen is the price will go down and you'll see a certain power. But what I was just thinking as I was listening to you, what if there was a rival to Amazon, and we call it shorting the greedy or short store? And what it is, it's a place where you can get anything you need, but your commitment is to not buy it from the big corporations. So we are here to get you everything that you need from the big corporations, because we want you to send a message, and because there's going to be great prices in numbers, meaning the more of you that are part of this mission, the more we could bring the bigger companies to their knees, because you're going to be getting stuff through us, and we could sell it to you at a great price because there's a lot of you, and we could get those big corporations to notice it because you're getting it all from us.
How about it?
I mean,
let me tell you something. You fucking up now, Doc.
You're teaching them the real
Let me just tell you something. White brands mean way more to black people than black brands do.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You fucking up. You tell black people to quit Walmart, they can't quit Walmart. They can't quit nothing white, because whatever is manufactured by white hands has a more meaningful intrinsic value to black consumers.
Okay, so how do you get black consumers, besides the first 15 minutes of the Zoe show, how do you get black consumers?
They don't even support that.
How do you get them to care enough about it? Because we've also said that people don't do what's important to them. They have to care enough about it. How do you get your community to care enough about it to support?
Doc, they can't care about a product if they don't care about themselves.
They have to learn, who they are first, and then all of that comes out of that. There's me and Zoe, we've done this before. We talked about the symbolism of Lord of the Rings, and the ring in that movie, the ring represents the knowledge that was taken. I don't say taken because you can't take that type of power.
Transferred.
It was transferred. We gave them that information. And in the movie, the knowledge or the ring is always trying to get back to its master. That means that knowledge is always trying to get back to us. But we've been without it so long, we don't really recognize it. But the ring also represents unity. That's the other power that we have lost, that Caucasians have gained. They have that unity. Like I was watching the movie Mississippi Burning the other day, and the racist guy, he was giving a speech, and he said, as long as every Anglo-Saxon one of us stick together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. Now, melanated people don't have that. I mean, they can say it all day, but Caucasian people, they'll get together and they'll do some shit. They'll have an idea on Monday and get that shit done on Tuesday.
That's right.
Like all black people will talk about some shit for 10, 15, 20 years. And be, oh, man, did you get that shit done? Oh, no, man. Then some shit came up. Man, the house, man. Oh, yeah. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
That's bullshit. Get together and do some shit. When gold was at $300 an ounce, I tried to get people or black people together just to put in $100 a month so we can buy gold together. People did it for a month. And then they're like, oh man, damn, I got problems. I got this. Then all of a sudden, gold shot up to $1,900 fucking dollars an ounce.
Give me my $100 back.
Right, that's exactly what I fucking had to do. Gave everybody their fucking money back. Then gold shot up to $1,900 fucking dollars an ounce, and everybody
I ain't got time to be waiting on no gold to rise.
But
fuck is wrong with this? Is the stock market, nigga.
But see, that's the shit I'm talking about.
How much of it is that when you're asking people to delay gratification and they don't have much of a sense of hope that life will be much better, that anything that delays the immediate, they're not going to think about. So all they're going to be focused on what will make me feel better or less crappy in the next moment. That's why inner city kids eat so poorly.
Go ahead, Veronica.
I'm going to jump into that too. I think if I look at how people operate collectively, because I coach a lot of black folks, I speak to black folks all over the country from all walks of life economically, and I'm going to say what I think what has happened in our psyche is that we have a passive aggressive response to life. Right? It's like we've been conditioned to have a very passive-aggressive response to almost everything that is life. And so, and I think that part of it is because, again, we're not willing to be aggressive. Right. Because we've been beat down and taught that we cannot compete and be aggressive. And so in the absence of that, what we are is passive-aggressive.
Yep.
But what it costs us in our community is that we have apathy and we don't support each other. Mm-hmm. You know, David Banner said, black people kill each other the same reason the cops kill black people. They don't see any value.
Right.
So if we don't see value in each other, then it's very hard to get together and get a damn thing done.
Wow. Listen, we got to take a quick break, and when we come back, more race war propaganda. We'll be back in 2.2. Even Charlie Manson knew the black man was God. I always say it's a stroke of fucking genius.
Of what?
You gotta give the white man some credit for creating such a diabolical system.
Oh.
The system is like...
They killed it.
It's like in The Matrix.
When
the motherfucker sit back and goes, this shit is complex, and in a way it's beautiful, the way they put it together. Fuck. Do you understand? The older models of it was kind of crude and primitive, but this one, right? I mean, think about it. I'm going to take the word nigga. This is why I use it so freely. Because I know that there are black people more offended by hearing it than white people. Because you motherfuckers are black on the outside, but all through and through white ideologically. Right?
Yep.
I'm going to take a word that means God, and I'm going to make it mean ignorant. I'm going to make it mean stupid. I'm going to take ownership of your word and your definition.
Yep. Niggardly means stingy.
Niggardly means stingy, right? My homegirl, Karen Hunter, she's a radio personality and author, owns her own publishing company, publishes a lot of celebrities, black celebrities. She wrote a book called Stop Being Niggardly. Shocking.
Bam.
But she understood what the word actually meant.
Right.
Stop being stingy. I'm going to take all these words. Boy, it's ignorant. It's dumb. And our old guard won't let it go. Just because your punk ass was indoctrinated with only a sliver of our history, which was told by the victors.
Yes.
Just sit with that piece. You were told a sliver of our history, right? That was told by the victors.
Yep.
You ain't even got your version of the story. You can't even tell me, like, okay, we lost this little piece. But you don't even have your version of the story of how we lost that piece.
Exactly.
All you have to go on is what your oppressor told you, and now you mad. You gotta stop using the N-word. You don't even know it mean God. You don't know it's Ethiopian. I'm in the car with a Nigerian. He's from Nigeria. He doesn't know Niger means God. He doesn't know. He doesn't know Nigeria means queen. He doesn't know that. He was like, what? Well, in Nigeria, we were conquered by the French. We were conquered by these people. We were conquered by these people. We speak this language. We speak that language. We Christian. Shit. I said, well, what were you before they got there? What was your religion? I don't remember. You don't remember? Do you understand? Racism, this is why the argument, and let's come back to this, and I'm going to go to Dr. G. Can black people be racist?
Coon.
Can black people be racist?
Let me ask you.
Hell no. Answer this question, Doc. You know how you do. You slither. Stay up in here. Can black people be racist?
If you're always on the defense, if you're always on the defensive as opposed to the offensive, maybe what you're saying is can people who are always feel on the defensive be racist, or are they so busy just covering and protecting themselves that it's kind of like they got bigger fish to fry, because if they lower their guard and they lower their defenses, they're going to be even more screwed. One could say, a lot of racist thing, well, they're being defensive and whatever, they're just being, instead of passive aggressive, they're abusive aggressive. But do you think that's possible, that if you feel that you're on the defensive and you're so busy protecting yourself and your well-being and your guard is always up, if what you're saying is, I'm just trying to survive, I don't have time for racism because I just got to keep my guard up because the racists around me, if I lower my guard, are going to kill me.
Veronica, then Kevin. Answer that.
Yeah, I want to speak to that. I think a black person can be bigoted, right? So a bigot is a person who's intolerant of difference. But because racism is institutionalized, right, it's both personal and institutionalized, and black people are on the bottom of that equation, right, then I don't think we can actually be racist because because we don't control the institution.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think black people can be racist. Well, again, me going back to the words, racist, if you take the suffix ist, I-S-T, it means to adhere to a certain doctrine. So black people can be like, yeah, black people are better than white people. So, you can hear that. I hear that a lot. If you go through the hood, you'll hear that. So, in that aspect, black people can be racist. But also black people can, they
racist or race pride. And where does the line get crossed between racial pride and racism?
Well, that's what it is. If you take that what it is, adhering to a certain doctrine, if you call it racial pride, that still is being racist. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not being bad. It just means I'm for my race. That's just really what racist means, or racist. I'm for my race. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're against someone else. It just means my race. I'm on my race. I think my race is better. So dealing with black people dealing with each other. They hurl slurs at each other. They call each other coon and Uncle Tom, and all these different terms of where they have no idea where these terms come from, and it constantly places them in. If you're constantly fighting yourself, then or the crab in the barrel thing, you're never going to be able to get out of it. So coon, the word coon comes from barracoon, and it means a prison for slaves. It's where the slaves were held before they got put on. Were held before they got put on the slave ships. And it's also produced the word barracks, like army barracks, where soldiers are held. So, to understand where words come from, to me, and I'm always, Zoe knows, we've been on this for years, to understand where words come from, where grammar, because grammar means the magical enchantment of words. If you're able to understand where these things come from, it releases you from that enchantment, from that magic.
Yeah. A lot of spells. Spelling out spells.
There you go.
Speaking spells into existence. This is why we're having this bullshit as experience over and over and over again, because of what we've been programmed. The program is a spell. Say more.
I want Veronica, I want your weigh in, but I want to hear from everybody. Think of the term, what can people do that results in empathy? Because the opposite of projection is accurate empathy. There was just a crisis over the weekend. There's a group of entrepreneurs I know around the world, and I guess they know something about me, and they say, we've had a tragedy in our community. One of our members in one of our groups over the weekend killed his wife and 3 kids and himself. And so, the entrepreneurial pedal to the metal community doesn't do empathy. And so they're really kind of all in turmoil because it's happened to one of their own. And a lot of people who are entrepreneurs have it shouldn't be that surprising And they're expecting the media to say, well, it doesn't surprise us because, you're bipolar, you're up and down, you think you're better than us. But it's almost like it's kind of like, wow, this really hit us. There was a movie which you probably never heard of called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And it's an independent film. But what it was about is the young child of a Nazi death camp commander makes friends with someone inside the concentration camp, and they really develop a friendship. And at one point, the son of the Nazi camp commander is just so curious that he goes in under the fence and puts on pajamas. And what happens is, they can't find him, and he dies in the death camp. The son of the. But what I'm getting at is, it seems to me that what activities that result in empathy. I think we got to start with kids too, because I think kids are willing to sort of see each other as people until they get corrupted and infused by our hatred. But what activities could we start that maybe what you need is teachers who are all burned out, but teachers to at a very young age sort of try teaching empathy, curiosity amongst young kids. Well, find out why you think that way. Find out why they think that way. Find out yada yada yada. Because I think racism is the opposite of empathy.
Well, this is one of the main reasons for that race war, because they understand if black people and white people were to come together against that 1%, against the establishment, then it's all over.
Yeah. Right.
They have to keep you, fighting and at each other's necks and doing all this and that thing, and using the term, the word American as a substitute for being white, which is how a lot of Republicans well, I'm an American, which really means, well, I'm white.
I'm white.
Donald Trump, let's make America great again.
Right. Let's make America white again.
And don't even understand, that word America didn't even come from Amerigos Vespucci. It's an ancient indigenous word.
Amexem.
Huh? No, it comes from Amaruca or Amarucan, which means the land of Kukulkan or Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Plume serpent.
Here we
go.
So
you produced all of this. You produced all of this over here, and they had to get you to think that you had nothing to do with it, that you were nothing, that the term that meant God and king meant, meant something degrading, meant you were stingy and lower. They had to flip the script on you, because if you actually knew who you were, then you would come back and take this. Not only that, if you were able to link up.
So you're telling me right now that bougie black people are really racist because they buttress and hold up and participate in a racist system.
Absolutely.
So you're telling me black people, we could argue that bougie black people are more racist than the white people they work for.
Because it keeps the status quo. It keeps them at the top. It keeps them at the top of the black of the black stratosphere, whereas everybody else is down there. So if everybody else understood, and there'd be no stratification for them to adhere to. So yes, bougie black people are some of the most racist people.
Wow. A few years ago, Barack Obama would have been getting us coffee. Bill Clinton to Ted Kennedy, quote. A few years ago, Barack Obama would have been getting us coffee.
Wow.
Now this nigga the president. Please understand this shit is real.
Bill Clinton said that?
And let's go. Let me go back to a little piece. Racism is a system. Black people can't be racist. We don't have a system to enforce our racial superiority onto other groups. White people have a system. Let me tell you something, because I'm an asshole. Especially when it comes to my kids. Last week was back to school night. These motherfuckers treated my son bad at Santa Monica High. Particularly the basketball coach. My son is an alpha. This nigga made a beta the leader of the team because he didn't want to see my son lead. The rest of the team was afraid of my son. Not because he was yelling at him or banging on him. He had just a natural energy. You seen him. Yep. He was like, let's get this done. He was the only kid on their team that had a D1 scholarship. He put a freshman Jewish kid as the point guard, the starting point guard over my kid. Now anybody knows You got a D1 kid going to college. You know he's going to play point guard at the next level. You put him at the point guard position. This dude just didn't want to see it. White coach. White.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, I went to back to school night with my daughter in all Auburn gear. Like, he's beyond you, motherfuckers. Now, they trying to make us stink to not let my daughter go to the school because we not in the district. And I told him right there, I said, if you kick her out the school, I'ma blast your evil coach and all the apartment buildings he's getting for other black kids to come play hoop. Now shut your fucking mouth and allow her to get this bougie education. See, that's racism. Do you understand? This, and then they act, we tried to help you. Pathological altruism is help that actually hurts. You ain't doing us no favor by being racist and then unconscious of it. I'm not finna smoke the same pipe you smoking. And now they go, don't fuck with Mr. Williams. You motherfucking right. Go enjoy your school day, daughter. You understand? I come in here because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back at 2.2.
Williams jump over that rail.
You feel me?
The systematic racism that we have in our state government and our state party. And I have to tell you, this is St. Louis's race war. We didn't have a race war like other cities throughout the country. This is our race war.
Only the elite motherfuckers know how they feel about you and me. Know how they feel about you and me. So what do we do right now? We make a preparation. Motherfuckers got to ranks and files. We got to automatically say who is skilled in what. We don't put nothing on notes. We always generalize. We do the real talk when we get the fuck up out of here. But this is something for the family to build on. You got to start pinpointing what skills each individual has. So when the shit go down, you know who to say, take care of that, take care of that, take care of that. What is your...
The Klan is aiming for a younger demographic for a couple of reasons. First, to keep the organization alive. The Klan has traditionally been aimed at an older audience. In addition, though, youth provides it with a more relevant social and political base, as well as some technological know-how as well, so that they can access the internet.
And the Klan are now appealing to children online. Mum Amanda believes racial minorities could have a bad influence on her sons.
The kids in school, you know, the black minorities and Mexicans, I think they're taking their parents' drugs and they're bringing it to school and trying to make money off of it. Because their parents are so worried about doing drugs than providing for their own children. That's what I think.
Members of the Klan since birth, the boys have become regulars to such events and have even taken part in cross-burning rituals.
Yeah! This shit is heated. Heated! What's your definition of success, black man? Where did it come from, black man? How can you even consider yourself to be a man if you can't tell your woman an original concept of success outside of the construct the white man has created? How can you teach your children to be leaders, to be innovators, to be explorers of the world? Even when you look at a fucking TV show like the Star Trek series, their highest rank in Star Trek is Admiral. These motherfuckers is spreading Admiralty law into space.
Letting you know.
Right? The leaders of the Federation of Planets are white people. And they go around bringing in new alien civilizations into the Federation.
To assimilate.
You gotta be like we are. Yep. The Klingons be looking at Worf like,
yep.
What the fuck
is you doing?
You probably the baddest Klingon of them all. And you just third in command over here? The fuck? I was watching one episode, the Klingon nigga was like, does your blood still burn?
Yes, I saw that.
And fucking Worf got mad like, of course it burns. Like, nigga, you look pretty civilized to me, motherfucker. You don't look like a Klingon. You don't behave like a... Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy.
So now Worf is perceived as a good Klingon or even a better Klingon because he acts like the Federation. It's almost like, oh, you're refined.
But he the Uncle Tom Klingon to the other Klingon.
Do you understand? I'm just saying, man. It's everywhere.
Yeah, buddy.
It's everywhere. And you know what it is that I speak of? Their view of the world is perceived as normal, is perceived as something you should pursue. And I'm not saying, hey, fuck it, have at it. You created this perception. You get to have your perception, but I get to have mine.
Yeah.
Devoid of your influence. I get to say, this mine without any of your shit in it. I get to have that. Do you understand? And until white people, and I'm calling Dr. G to the table, white people like Dr. G, come in and work passionately, aggressively, and directly with their own people to say, you know what? Genetically, we're Polish. We're fucking Germans. We're all over the place. We're Ashkenazi. We're Sephardims. We're what's the other word? Khazars. We're all that shit, right? And the way we treat the Ethiopians in Israel is fucking wrong.
Up. Yes.
These people look like the Jesus we say is our dude. Until y'all step in and go, fuck that, we lied. We're the caretakers of this shit, but the people who are really here, when we can go back generations, centuries, and that's those people, the Falasha.
Yes.
Right? Those people. Can we get them? Until we get that, racism gonna stay in place. I promise you.
It is. I mean, until you have the ruling class willing to let go of some of the information and let it out. Most people who are racist don't even know why they're racist. So it's the upper class. It's the people at the upper class who know the game. Most people are just playing the game. They don't even know the rules of the game. They're just in it. But the upper people, they're the makers of the Monopoly board, and they know why. They know who's landing on Park Place, who's landing on Boardwalk. They understand all that shit, but nobody else does. And until they're able to or ready to release that shit, like the clip you just showed a second ago of the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, their headdresses come from the Moors. There's a ceremony of the Moors that where the
straight
Moors,
from Spain,
where they wear that headdress. That's where that came from. The head of the Ku Klux Klan is called the Caliph. That's from the Khalifa. The Khalifa,
the successor.
The successor.
Also, their sacred book is called the Quran.
Bam.
The Quran. Where the fuck you think the Ku Klux Klan are Christian Muslims? And if you don't know the history of that shit or the symbology of that order,
yes,
these motherfuckers, and they don't know.
They don't know. They just doing it.
What do you think? I'm back to the 1%, 99%. What do you think the relationship is between the opportunism of the 1% and racism below it? So as long as the opportunists say, "Hey, let's keep them sort of killing each other. Let's keep them sort of distracted. Let's keep them from adding up just how little we care about them and how we take advantage of them." Because it may be, the opportunists, they're not racist, they're just sort of anti-humanists. I mean, it's just about opportunity.
Yeah. It is.
And I think until there's something that changes that, those opportunists are always going to find a way to spin the 99%, get them distracted, get them hating each other, hating themselves.
Well, they come from a classist system. They're what's her name? The girl, Ariana Huffington. She was on TV the other day, and she was talking about how America and England differs. And she was saying over there, you still have this classist system where it's much more of where were you born, what family are you from, and over here, you don't have that. Like in the Constitution,
we got it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. See, in the Constitution, it states that no one shall be granted any titles of nobility, which means no lords or dukes or anything like that, because they didn't want to have people believing that you were of a higher class. But they did that anyway. They just subverted it and created two different forms of citizenship, and that's the classist situation.
Private and public.
Yes. Private and public.
How about it, niggas?
Regular citizen and 14th Amendment citizen.
Right. Fly your ass into a private airport. I've done it. Ain't no TSA.
Nope.
It's apples and food and fruit. Hey, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah. ain't no dog sniffing shit. Ain't nothing.
Absolutely.
This shit is like a spa. Walking. Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, how you doing, Mr. Williams? Yes. Your rental car is waiting on you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's just like that.
It's real shit.
It is.
Private
or public.
Public. Veronica?
And private and public really gets cold when you start talking about the banking system and how there's private and public banking and the impact that has on credit and therefore your ability to, credit versus debt and your ability to access not even really money but digits.
Right. Yeah, digital input.
and there's a whole. It's true. There's two whole systems that operate here. But what's so interesting is that they've convinced us to operate outside of our own interests, and that includes white folks too. I mean, what is the Republican Party except a bunch of poor white folks and evangelicals advocating for billionaires?
Thank you.
It's just they've just taught us how to advocate outside of our own interests because we don't understand what our interests really are.
That's true.
Wow, this is good shit. Listen, anybody got anything else to say before we go to the final thought? Final thought it is. Well, a lot of people will ask, what is the alternative, right? What's the alternative? This is the only system we got. It's flawed, and this system is probably better than any other system in the world, right? So that's an argument people would make. So when I say black people who participate in this system are racist, when I say black people who pursue diversity are racist, why? Because again, you're coming from a position of weakness. You're asking a racist system, right? Because it doesn't take a genius to find out that it's racist. When your kid can't go to a good school, right, because he doesn't live in the district, why is it zoned that way? And why is the nearest school in your neighborhood, if it's not a good neighborhood, even if the motherfucker get a 4.0, that 4.0 is by definition a 2.0 at the better school? Right? Why? Why is that school's API higher than your home school? That's a system of racism. When we start talking about like neighborhood, isolated, insulated neighborhoods like Santa Monica, you don't think Santa Monica is isolated or insulated until you go there and you live there and you participate in the way that they, isolate their shit. You don't go here? You don't live here? You don't work here? No, you can't come to this school. Do you understand? Look at the hustle, right? This is racism. So when you got black people participating in a system that is inherently racist, and the best thing that they have to say in order to survive it is cope with it, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you'll be okay. That's their remedy, and you're gonna live a good life. That's their remedy. To me, that's a problem because it doesn't deal with the issue. It's like being sick in a hospital and they maintain your illness as opposed to trying to heal the illness. That's something else. The N-word continues to trigger us because that's the only history we know. They're not going to teach you the real history, like the history we just spewed out about the Ku Klux Klan being a fucking pseudo-Muslim organization created by Moors in the south of France. Don't believe us, go check that bullshit out. We participate in the white man's form of pathological altruism. Pathological altruism is this: I'm gonna do good shit for you, but it's ultimately gonna hurt you. Example: Spanish conquistadors come to the early Americas. I'm gonna burn up all your cultural shit, but I'm gonna give you Christianity. Well, you're gonna kill us culturally. That hurt. But you're going to save us? With Jesus. Right? We had Quetzalcoatl. Well, right? Whenever they came to conquer some shit, they lead with the missionaries. Desmond Tutu said the motherfuckers came here with Bibles. We closed our eyes and prayed. When we opened our eyes, we were holding the Bible and they had the land. That's what Desmond Tutu. Come on now. So Christians deal with Christianity as a branch of racism, as a branch of white supremacy. You don't want to deal with that. Okay. Do the research, find out yourself, right? Just little shit that need to be dealt with. Who wrote your personal definition of you? If you scared to call yourself a nigga, it's because you're using the white man's definition of nigga. Stop using the white man's definition of nigga and use niggas, negus, nagas. The three wise men were negus. The wise men, the wise kings from the east. You don't know that? Oh, of course you don't know that because you follow what the white man say. You read the white man's dictionary. Is this racist? To say stop listening to the white man tell you the story about you? Is this racist to say, hey, motherfucker, pick up a pen and take ownership of your own cultural narrative? I'm just saying, is that racist? I don't know. The UC system here in California, UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC Riverside, UC Davis, UC San Luis Obispo, UC Santa Barbara, 3% of the population of those UC systems, since the eradication of affirmative action, 3% of the population is black. And half, 1.5% of that, are athletes. Nigga, you better run, jump, skip, and get ready for the motherfucking combine, or you ain't getting into these high-end universities, nigga. That's not racist? I'm just saying. Okay, we ain't even gonna talk about standardized tests. We're not gonna talk about stereotype threat embedded in the test. We're not gonna talk about none of that. Just, what's your vertical, nigga? All right? Racism is taught. It is a doctrine. It is a dogma. It is not real. By definition, every person on planet Earth is black. Every one of you. Even the white folk, y'all come from us. You are children. And one day, your ass is going to come into the understanding that we deserve respect from you, or you wouldn't have life. You got atheist Richard, what's his name? Richard Dawson? Is that the atheist name? The God Delusion? I think his name is Richard Dawson, right? He walks around with a t-shirt on that says, "We are Africans." Wow. You are, motherfucker. Yes. So if you're an African, how in the hell could you ever disrespect the descendants of those who brought you into existence? And until white people get off their high horse thinking that white is better because it's on the latter end of the evolutionary trail, nigga, you just newer. You're not better, you newer. You just got here. Respect the motherfucking ancient ones who built all this shit. I'm just saying. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought, goddammit. Black people, stop jocking. Get off the white man's dick.
Stop calling him white, first of all.
Well, get off his nuts.
That means master.
Get off his nuts. Bottom line is we got work to do, and we got to start supporting each other 100%. Black businesses get together. Black people support black businesses, support one another. Dr. G's community, that money goes in their hands 18 times before it leaves. Our money leaves once. Immediately. Spend it one time, bam. Damn. I'm gonna buy motherfucking Shasta soda from this nigga over here, and then that's it. Do you understand? Do the research. I dare you. I dare you to do the research and find out who the fuck you really are. With that said, Veronica, what can they do? How can they connect with you?
Sure, you can email me at veronicaconway.com. Blackmastery.com is where you get the Black Mastery program. And you can check me out on social media, all things Veronica Conway. Dr.
G, that new book?
New book, pre-order it, Talking to Crazy, and if you can remember, info@goulstongroup.com, info@goulstongroup.com. You email me, you just put down TTC for Talking to Crazy, I'll send this to you, and just even reading this, you'll wake up and you'll start bringing some sanity to your life.
Yeah, you can reach me at on the YouTube channel Real Nagas. That's ReelNagas. That's the video classroom. Go in there and check out most of these videos that we have on here. Or you can go to that Booty Boxing, get the 8-week home system. That's udemy.com, udemy.com/bootyboxing, and the promo code is ZoWhatShow.
Don't play yourself. Only 298 copies left. I got 2 orders since the show started. I'm not kidding you.
Damn.
I'm not going to reprint these mugs. It was a hassle doing it. It was a hassle getting up, and I made a regimen out of it. Okay, I got to go to the post office today. I'm working out. The gym is right next to the post office. So, hey, seriously. If you want a copy, IamZoeWilliams.com. Only 300 copies left. Now's the time. Go there now. Support the movement. Get this information, because I believe the real problem in our community is our relationships. We heal our relationships. We respect each other. We organize better. The relationships are poor between men and women, so that's why we don't trust in business or intimately. Get this book now. IamZoeWilliams.com. Well, with that said, we about to get up out of here. Yeah, go ahead.
To mention something about what Hillary Clinton said a couple of weeks ago when the Black Lives Matter group came and trapped her behind one of her speeches, and they asked her what she thought about it, and she said, look, it's cool that you have the Black Lives Matter movement and you're trying to change hearts and minds. She said, but I don't really think you're going to do anything trying to change hearts and minds. She said, what you need to do is change some laws. And see, they were on there, they were trying to get her to spout this rhetoric of why Black Lives Matter. And she said, look, she was trying to drop some jewels on them and said, look, that's cool if you're trying to change hearts and minds, you know, some in the interim, but what you need to do is change laws, because even if you change hearts and minds on Black Lives Matter, it's not going to change anything by getting your ass whooped if you don't change any laws.
Right.
And that was a major jewel that she dropped, and it bypassed them immediately because they jumped on her about not identifying with the Black Lives Matter movement. Fuck
that propaganda. We already know that's propaganda to keep everybody tripping, keep everybody polarized.
But you had this Caucasian woman trying to drop you with some jewels, and that's what I'm talking about.
Well, shit. Y'all know what we got to do. It's come together, bottom line. I'll see you next Monday with another heater. You think I'm going to quit? I'm not. I promise you I won't. I'll see you next week, and follow me over to Dash Radio. We're about to do today's topic on the Voice of Reason, Dash Radio. Get the Dash Radio app right now, or go to dashradio.com. I'll see you next week. Radio and TV, that's TV and radio, T Radio. V, Zoe Williams, hot, what is this? Zoe What Show. We'll be back. See you next week.